Welcome back. As coronavirus cases continue to rise, many people are beginning to think more about what to do if they become infected. And that includes estate planning. Today I spoke with local attorney Brian Harnick, who has some important advice. Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, it's absolutely my pleasure, Peter.
What have you seen so far in terms of people wanting to get their estates in order? A higher increase?
We've absolutely seen a higher increase of a couple of things. Number one, people are wanting to get their affairs in order. They're thinking about the potential scenario of illness, of being incapacitated, or heaven forbid, of dying, which is an eventuality we all have. You know, one of the challenges of all estate planning is we all procrastinate. So we're kind of seeing a little bit of elevation in what do I do? How do I have control over my estate and my person and my affairs? So yeah, there's an absolute increase in need.
And I'm sure the key is not to wait until you're already sick. You want to start doing this now while you're healthy.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, a harsh reality of the coronavirus is that there's a small percentage of us that are getting it, that are getting so sick that they're being forced to go onto ventilators and to therefore be put into induced comas. They can no longer communicate their healthcare desires. If you think about this in advance, if you take the measures of having a healthcare directive, of talking to your loved ones about what you want to do, you can avoid a lot of real heartbreaking decisions down the road. So getting that healthcare directive is one of the high priorities people should be thinking about.
What are some of the other key things that people need to think about when planning their affairs?
Well, as always, you want to have control over your affairs. And one of the unintended and one of the many consequences of this crisis right now is the court systems are being overwhelmed. The courts are on essentially an emergency basis only. So the courts are only open for emergencies and criminal matters take priority. Probate cases are being put in a lower tier of priority. What you want to do, anybody who has any estate, what you want to do is have an estate plan so you avoid the need to go to court. We're hearing that the courts are going to be jammed up for many, many months once they're able to fully reopen. So we think the probate courts, which deals with conservatorships, guardianships, and of course, upon death, the handling of assets, avoiding court is a great, great thing to do. You can do that by proper estate planning and getting a trust in place. Another consideration is the potential for someone to become incapacitated, to become unable to make decisions because of physical challenges, mental challenges, dementia, etc. Planning in advance by having the people in place to take over those affairs will avoid needless delays and additional heartache in a court system. So we are seeing an increase in sensitivity to these issues. One of the challenges, though, is that a lot of these documents must be executed or signed either in front of two independent witnesses or in front of a notary public. Our office, like most law offices, are considered essential for the purpose of protecting their clients. So what we are doing is we're physically closed to the public, except for our clients by appointment. We are having a notary, we're having two witnesses available, we're in a big conference room, we're more than 6 feet apart, we are sanitizing everything, we are wearing gloves, we are, the fingerprinting process, we are being as sensitive and appropriate as we can to protect the health, because typically these are, people that are a little bit older and may have some impaired condition to begin with, and we want to be extra careful. But dealing with this in advance is absolutely critical to avoid some major, major heartache and challenges down the road.
Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
Peter, it's my pleasure. Wishing you and your family and everyone a lot of safety and health. Thank you.
And to download your own copy of the Advanced Healthcare Directive form, just go to courts.ca.gov and type in Healthcare Directive in the search bar.